the big stories, and then I would also look at a very important conversation, and I would need you to give it some thought. So I'm going to let you know what we're talking about at the 5 o'clock hour, because Mr. President was in France, spoke with Emmanuel Macron. They had a good and still have a good relationship, and they did promise France that Nigeria is open for business. It's easy, come here, do your business, do your investment, and all of that. But given the fact that Nigeria's president is the chairman of ECOWAS, and we know that a lot of Francophone countries are at this point trying to sever their ties with France. You know, quite a number of them had the coup d'etat, and you get to see all of them say, okay, we don't want your military, France. We don't want you to control our resources, France. We don't want your these, France. And just trying, to just get out of the strings of their colonizer, their former colonizer, France, at this point in time. Now, given the fact that we have a lot of these countries on our side of the continent, the West African country, and Nigeria's president is the chairman, I would want to interrogate what this means for Nigeria and for the region, and even for Mr. President. Should we be looking out for ourselves, make all the connection, make all the relationship, build all the ties, foreign ties with all of the countries that can invest, that can help, that can support? Or, consider what it means for us in the region. And perhaps, the fact that some of these countries might, at this point, feel like, so we say we don't want to do business with France and you're going to do business with them. Should that be our concern in any way? We'll be talking about that, fleshing it out at the 5 o'clock hour. So you want to stay close, you're ready for that conversation. I'll go on a very quick break, 10 seconds. When I return, we'll get started with the stories. Well, Nigerians are talking about the EFCC securing final forfeiture of vast Abuja estate. And there are a lot of speculation as to who owns it. Who does it belong to? How can one man acquire so much? How did we let this go under the radar? How much did it take to build something this massive? And others are like, let's thank God at least it's investing and plowing back in Nigeria and not ferrying it to some random country and stashing it in some secret vault somewhere in one of these, countries that they take it to untraced. And even the ones that are traceable, like Abacha loot that has been repatriated. Think about it. Well, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission secured the final forfeiture of an estate in Abuja, the largest single asset recovery since the agency's inception in 2023. Did I say 23? 2003, I beg your pardon. The Commission achieved this through an order of final forfeiture issued by a court in Abuja yesterday. And the recovered asset is a vast estate in Abuja, measuring about 150,500 square meters with 753 units of duplexes and other apartments. The estate, located at Cadastral Zone CO9, Lokuguma district of Abuja, was recovered from an unnamed former top brass of the government. This is where Nigerians are going over time with who is this person? Man or woman? I assure you it's a man. Don't bet your paycheck, but it definitely will be a man. Former top brass of the government who is coming to so much. What agency, what part of government was he in to acquire so much to do all of this? Well, no name given. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale said in a statement on Monday, EFCC said the estate belonged to a government official being investigated for money laundering. The official name was not mentioned. And the Federal Capital Territory High Court Abuja issued the final forfeiture of the estate on Monday upon an application by the EFCC. And according to EFCC, the judge made the final forfeiture order following his earlier interim forfeiture order issued on the 1st of November. And ruling on the Commission's application for the final forfeiture of the property on Monday, he held that the respondent failed to show cause as to why he should not lose his assets. He ruled that the property, which has been reasonably suspected to have been acquired with proceeds of unlawful activities, the property is hereby finally forfeited to the federal government. EFCC alleged that this government official from whom the asset was seized fraudulently built the estate being investigated by them, that the forfeiture of the asset is an important modality of depriving the suspect of the proceeds of the crime, EFCC put out in their statement. So, There are pictures of it. It's massive. On one hand, you might just want to be grateful that they went into housing because there's housing deficit already. But then on the second hand, be like, well, affordability of this housing at the end of the day is something else to contend with. But the big issue here, and the main one, is the fact that one man fraudulently acquired resources to build this to his name, and it's been finally forfeited. Now, it's not the first, second, third, and I doubt it will be the last we'll get of, assets being forfeited by individuals who have been, tried either publicly, the whole public media. For example, the former Minister of Petroleum comes to mind, Dezani, where we forfeited down to even her underwears at that point. And I hear she's going back to court to reclaim some of her asset that's been held by the government. I wish her good luck with that. But it's not the first, it's not the second that we're getting all of this. And I think for some Nigerians, they've come to the point where they're even desensitized. Some people are not wowed by all of these revelations anymore to say, oh, one man, a top government brass, fraudulently acquired this property while he was in government and all of that. People have become, not everyone, some people have become desensitized to the point where we've heard it before, and you continue to wonder, when are we going to get to the end of this? To the point where we're going to plug the hole, the lacuna, wherever it is, the system, the structure that allow for thriving corruption in Nigeria, to preventing men and women who's held office, trust of the people, from exploiting them. And what happens after this? Now, we don't know the name. You don't want the FCC to make it too sensational, to just drop one name and everybody's talking and all of that. Perhaps they're still doing a lot of digging. But for them to get final forfeiture of this asset is a sign that they know and they have gone thorough with their findings enough to know that this was acquired with fraudulent wealth or whatever. You can't just, get it that easily. I want to believe they must have been very thorough enough to substantiate their claims in court before the judge to get the court to give the final forfeiture on this particular one. And it's massive also. So, who is this person? Well, don't give names. Even the FCC is not giving names right now unless you know, like a whistleblower, 100% what you're talking about. But does it still really excite you when you hear things like this? What would you rather see, rather hear? What's the main thing for you when it comes to fighting corruption, to think how and what should we put in place in terms of measures to ensuring that these does not continue? As much as we appreciate the fact that someone is building houses, I'm sure for rent, because he's definitely not going to live in these houses all by himself, but it's an investment for himself and his children, to the detriment of, the larger populace, people, monies that should have gone into something else. He sat on it and used it for this. But then it's a proceed of corruption, so there's no glamorizing it nonetheless. And what happens now that is being forfeited to the federal government? Now that our government has acquired over 700 duplexes and apartments, what happens next? What should be done with this asset that has come into the hand of the federal government? Now, if you want to talk about this, feel free. Call me up on 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974 869. I've got two more stories to go through. But if you haven't shared your take on this story from the morning show, feel free to call me up. Hello?
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Prophet Michael Uchomoke.
Talk to us, sir.
I'll be the happiest person on earth if they push this whistleblower thing through. If they push it through, I'll be very, very happy. Because I've got the power to expose the wickedness in this country. I will expose the whole of them. Seriously. Let them bring out this policy. Let me see whether they will use it to come after me. Let me see that. So if there's one creator, then create it. You need to come after me. Then you jail yourself. Let me tell us here. From day one, Nigeria as a country is founded on falsehood. That's why Nigeria is not going anywhere. That's the reason. I've got power to bring this country down.
Okay.
Take care.
I don't know when he said he's got powers. I was hoping it was in the Abido Shaker. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, my sister. My name is Adola Victor from Vita Life.
Go ahead, sir.
You see, corruption in this country has become a monster, a big monster that it will be very difficult to fight. This is because some people are untouchable in this country. Though at the end of the day, we will know the name of the person who are this property. You see, what we need to do, I always say is that let us put in place proactive measures, mechanisms to stop corruption instead of reactive mechanisms at the end of the day. People at the top are all over the place in all sectors, especially in the oil sector. These big boys are untouchable and they are working for some godfather. In fact, corruption has become, in fact, an occultic something in this country that it will be very difficult to fight. You see, at the end of the day, corruption has put millions of Nigerians into public property and only benefit the few. For instance, how will you allow big men to go into plea bargaining? And if another man steals a tumber of yam, he will go to jail. But the big man will just return some of the loot and will go and enjoy billions of naira. Are we ready to fight corruption? We are joking. We are joking in this country. But at the end of the day, if we don't do the needful, I pray. If something is going to happen, we come as a matter of fact. Look at all the loot, all the money being stolen. Do we need to borrow money? This government will be borrowing money. And look at one person acquiring that. In fact, I saw yesterday. In fact, I opened my mind. A lot of things are happening in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. And I've just been informed that we're live on Facebook and YouTube, so you can check it out at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook and YouTube. Shehu Ahmed Hamza on Facebook says, the massive estate is right behind my estate in Lokogoma. I hope they auction it out to the public and not allow it be a den of armed robbers in the near future. Hamza Shehu has answered one question which I threw out, asking what then happens next. There's a lot on the hands of the government at the moment. What's the best way to manage this particular property? Hello. Or the properties. Hello. Good afternoon. All right, you're not ready. Hello. Sorry about that. Let's move on to the next. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Yes, the Nigerian public sector is heavily corrupt. Recently, the National Assembly did their investigation and they discovered that almost 200 billion naira, about 168 billion naira.
Can we put you on hold to go on a quick break, please?
All right, no problem.
The Beta Arts Festival is...
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.